Today I'm going to show you two different ways I grow potatoes. One in full sun, and the second one in a guild. So this is pretty typical for how my potatoes in full sun look. Most of the potatoes that I grow are just regrowth from potatoes that got accidentally or possibly intentionally left in the ground. You know, once you plant potatoes somewhere, it's pretty hard to keep them from growing back, and it's a good problem to have. I mean, it's not even a problem. So I have potatoes pretty much coming up wherever I've ever planted them. You can see that there's some here. There's a guy right here. And there's a guy in here. He's here as well. You can see these, right? So now that you see what the potatoes look like in full sun, let's look at the potatoes in this guild under the fig tree. I've made videos before showing this guild and describing what's in it, but I've never shown it this time of year. So this is pretty much everything grown out. Do you see the potatoes in there? I could try to point to where they are. They're pretty much, I mean, they're not near the edge. They're really like in the center down there somewhere. And if you look at the video that has, you know, like this is my Paul Gauchi potato video, you'll see how it looked. I think it was the winter time. I was accidentally digging big potatoes out and then I just reburied them. And I'll briefly describe what's in here. This is, in addition to the fig, this was a volunteer Indian plum or osoberry. And look at that. The birds have already taken all of the berries. They're not even ripe yet. See, here's some berries they haven't gotten to yet because they're down here hidden. Look at that. Those are not supposed to be that color when ripe. These are supposed to be purple, like a deep, rich purple. And the birds can't even wait. They just snatch them. Some kind of digressing here. So here's another one. They haven't taken these berries yet. You see, they're not ripe yet. They're not even supposed to be close to ripe. But these will all get taken by the birds in time. It's amazing how I can find them pretty easily in the wild, but at my house, I guess I just have too many birds per osoberry. Anyway, so we have that. This is the flowering quince. It has grown into my pathway, so at some point I'm going to nip these branches off. But this has already flowered, and oh my God. So this plant has never fruited before because it's never had a companion. Let me show you his companion. I put in, well, he's actually got two companions. And this guy, he's too small, so he wasn't really flowering. And I had to put this pole here so I would stop stepping on him. And since he was little, I decided to plant yet another companion. And he's bigger. So, oh my God. Look at these little fruits. So this is the bigger guy, and they fruited at the same time, or flowered at the same time. He had these deep kind of red flowers, more red looking than that. These look kind of pink. Whereas that big quince has these like pinkish flowers. And maybe next year I'll catch them when they're in bloom and do a video on it. But they did flower at the same time, and I had hummingbirds come and visit them, but you know, it still wasn't, like a ton of flowers. I mean, this guy is still small plant. I actually have some other trees that are fruiting for the first time this year, and I will take you on a tour of those at some point. There's a lot more fruit on the other one than on this one. Anyway, okay. So this here is a sorrel. I think this one's a Transylvanian sorrel, but it's pretty much like a French sorrel. Nice and lemony. This is a Henderson's checker mallow. So I eat these guys too. And since I planted these guys, this is a native. He's been reseeding. In fact, we saw babies of him by the potatoes over there, and they just didn't point them out. You can tell the guild is making this guy pretty big too than typical. Let me show you how another one looks that's not in the guild. But this is the same plant outside of the guild. And you can see, not only is he smaller, he's already in flower. And the one in this guild here, you can see it's much bigger and it's not in flower yet. This is a rose. This is a strawberry, and these strawberries will get stolen by the chipmunks. If you want to know what the chipmunk damage looks like, all you have to do is check out the dandelion flowers, because chipmunks bite off and eat the dandelion flowers. See, that's all chipmunk activity. This is what chipmunks do. These should all have flowers on them. One flower made it. So you can see the chipmunk presence that I have. The moles are getting busy too. And here is a wild strawberry in the guild, and woodruff. So have you spotted the potato yet? Maybe you have, right down here. This is the potato. And this is a potato. Oh, and this is a potato. Let's see if we can follow this guy down into the jungle. Oh, look how tall these guys stretched. Look at that. That's the ground down there. And you see him stretching up like a tree? Oh, then I'll let you take a guess if you think I'm ever going to water this guy at all this year. That is going to be a no. So if you plant your potatoes in a very busy guild like this, they will make some kind of relationship with the tree or the fungi somehow, and they will stretch and they will find sun. And I don't know if it's the stretching that causes the big tuber, or the big tuber, because of the relationship building, is giving it the ability to stretch. So I'm not sure which one it is. It is a different variety than the other ones, because this is the one I got from Paul Gauchi's garden. But just a year ago, it started off as a little potato, shriveled potato this big. And I gave it no more attention than all the other potatoes. And if you look at the potatoes that he digs from his house, they're not massive potatoes. They're just regular potatoes. There's clearly massive growth in this guild. That's all I have for right now. That is my potato in the shade. Well, this is my potato escaping the shade.